New Gen Gamers.com.
Who's, minigame.
What is he doing? Shaking the beer up?
Bastard.
That's not cool. That's alcohol abuse. Ah, he got him. I guess this isn't alcohol, this is root beer.
Yeah, root beer.
And Ray says this was called Tapper in the arcades.
Yeah, I believe it was actually supported by Budweiser. You had like an actual Budweiser tap.
Sweet. Well, you didn't get that for the home version. You just got root beer Tapper. But this is a Midway game. Midway being huge in the arcade at that time, making some classic games such as Joust. And they put their support behind Coleco as well. We also will look at some games from Taito, who was another big Japanese company. So we'll see how they just lined up all these huge companies.
They picked up a lot of the arcade hits that that the other companies were missing.
And I don't know if this Greenberg guy must have been a great businessman, because they really seem to do such a good job of pulling these companies in that the other companies either didn't focus on, didn't put the resources into, or whatever. But Coleco made some great deals here to pull some classics in. And for some reason, those same 3 dots on every game, same 3 pixels, keep screwing up. I don't know.
Maybe we need to check out the cartridge port or something.
Could be. It seems to be around the same place on each game, and that, I believe, will pick up on the video. We also are flashing with our black and white color in and out, but I don't think that's picking up on the video, so you folks at home won't get to enjoy that.
Cut that one kind of close.
Good job.
Yeah, we're having a couple video issues here, but nothing really too bad.
Considering it's a 20-plus-year-old system, a classic system, we pulled this thing out and just started playing it and didn't have any real problems. So that's a testament to this old hardware. I mean, when you have video game systems nowadays that you can't even get them to last a year before they break, and these things a lot of times are holding up 2 decades later, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we were looking at you there, Xbox 360.
And PS2, Generation 1.
Yeah.
We know your names. Not like that old Coleco, but we will get into some manufacturing problems later that they had that really hurt them, but not with the Coleco system itself. The system itself seems like pretty solid hardware.
Yeah, it does. And they definitely had some really really good support for this from the third parties.
These yokels are insatiable.
Yeah, really.
How much root beer do they need?
I don't know, but Jesus, they just keep pouring out of here. And the ones on the top are the worst, because they'll like throw you off the bar.
Now, is this a perspective issue, or is it actually you have a shorter bar at the top?
I think it's a perspective issue. Because it's just kind of that order.
That bandit.
That friggin' bandit with the buck teeth keeps shaking up your root beer, and that makes it flat. I don't know if he's aware of that or not.
I got the right one this one.
He got the right one. Look how happy he is. And you see how the man looks like a real man. He's got eyes with pupils. He's got some lines on his pants, a little hat. Very defined,
Kinda
very
looks like
good
Mario,
graphics.
Actually.
He does look a lot like Mario. You see the moose head on the wall there? Just little details here that really made this system show off the graphical prowess.
Yeah, it really looks a lot like 8-bit graphics. Like, more powerful than it should be.
Nice animation. We see a little bit of flashing and screen flicker with the game, so it
may just be the system, too.
Yeah, well, it's either
like the
system or just the way it's loaded, but I mean, overall the animation's pretty top-notch for the time.
Yeah, and Greenberg went out there and secured some of the best third-party support that he could get.
And some of the best games that we had never seen on home systems and weren't possible on the other systems.
Well, see, his whole thing was Atari had went out and got all the big popular games from the arcades, and he went and looked for the hidden gems. He sent his people out specifically to look for games that other people hadn't covered yet.
Such as the next title we'll look at being the selling point for a lot of people for this system. And as far as how well this system did, they sold 500,000 units in their first year, which Atari took a couple years to do that, and it sold 6 million by the time it was done in a very, very short amount of time. Fastest selling system ever up to that point. And as we'll get into, the crash just did it in. This thing hadn't pinnacled by any point. It was
it was ready to be the next generation successor.
Yeah, this was going to be the popular dominant system if the rest of the industry hadn't fallen apart around them. They were poised. They had the tools, they had the ability, they had the system, they had the agreements and deals. They had everything they needed to really dominate the industry.
They had both quality hardware and software. So neither of those were an issue.
So I'd say we should check out the next game here. This just kind of does the same thing over and over again, but a fun time. You can still get this game, I believe, on the Xbox Live Arcade.
Yes, on the Xbox Live Arcade, this has a really good version, and the Midway Arcade Treasures.
So if you
first one.
So if you still want to play it, it's still relevant and still fun. So that
Check
was
it out and
Root Beer Tapper. And if you watched our intro video for the Coleco, you saw the manual was actually a fold-out menu to look like an old-style menu, which was pretty neat. So some cool packaging that came with this one. So let's check out a game that defined the era.
Ah, this looks familiar. Well, what's the deal with it? It's backwards. What's going on? Alright, I guess this is a different kind of Donkey Kong. Look at that. Never saw that before. Alright, if you can't tell what this is by now, ladies and gentlemen, you haven't been paying attention. But this is the Nintendo Classic.
And you should go back and watch some more of our videos. We covered at least twice.
I'm sure that there's about 15 videos of Donkey Kong in various forms on New Gen Gamers, wherever you're checking out your videos at, but we're gonna go do another one, and this is the Coleco version of Donkey Kong. This was actually the pack-in game, and I'm gonna start to talk about the ColecoVision and the start of it. It was August of '82 when we saw the Coleco released. As I said before, it's the third in the big three. As Ron mentioned, we could add the 5200 in here, and also the 5200 is known for its arcade ports also, but with a lot of problems, issues with that system, mainly the controller. Great arcade ports, but once again the controller kind of hinders that. But we're talking about the Coleco here. So as I said, it was August of '82, and you could pick up your brand spanking new Coleco for $199.99. Not a bad price point. As you can see going down, we got some excellent arcade quality graphics. You know, that was the big selling point, as I've mentioned before. The arcade ports was where it was at for this system. And a lot of these games, you know, people wanted to play these, and we had the third-party supporters. We're saying Coleco, the Greenberg really went after those companies that had a lot of titles out there. He steered away from Namco and Taito. Is that how you say that? I believe so.
Taito. Well, they got Taito, but not like the big titles like Space Invaders. They went for more of their obscure stuff.
I see what you're saying.
It's Donkey Kong, the arcade sensation, and now you can play it at home.
Hang on, sweetheart! I'm gonna save ya!
Now you can play Donkey Kong on your ColecoVision, Atari VCS, or Intellivision video game system. Donkey Kong has multiple screens, just like the arcade game.
You're not gonna stop me, you stupid ape!
Play Donkey Kong on your ColecoVision, Atari VCS, or Intellivision video game system.
Don't worry, darling! I'll save you! Help me!
New Gen Gamers. Duck